ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ॐ शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ॐ समस्तब्रह्मविद्याचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो नमः। श्रीवेदव्यासवैशम्पायन याज्ञवल्क्य आद्यशङ्कराचार्यवर्यादिगुरुभ्यो नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। Let us chant from Anna Brahma Upasana. Om Atha Taittiriya Upanishad Parayanam Bhruguvalli. Mantra number 7. Anna Brahma Upasana is our today's Parayanam. Om Annam Nanindyat Tadvratam Prano Va Annam Shariramannadam प्राणे शरीरं प्रतिष्ठितं शरीरे प्राणः प्रतिष्ठितः तदेतदन्नमन्ये प्रतिष्ठितं स य एतदन्नमन्ये प्रतिष्ठितं वेद प्रतितिष्ठति अन्नवानन्नादो भवति महान् भवति प्रजया पशुभिर्ब्रह्मवर्चसेन महान् कीर्त्या अन्नं न परिचक्षीत तद्व्रतम् आपो वा अन्नं ज्योतिरन्नादम् अप्सु ज्योतिः प्रतिष्ठितं ज्योतिष्यापः प्रतिष्ठिताः तदेतदन्नमन्ये प्रतिष्ठितं स य एतदन्नमन्ये प्रतिष्ठितं वेद प्रतितिष्ठति अन्नवानन्नादो भवति महान् भवति प्रजया पशुभिर्ब्रह्मवर्चसेन महान् कीर्त्या अन्नं बहुकुर्वीत तद्व्रतं पृथिवी वा अन्नम् आकाशोन्नादः पृथिव्यामाकाश प्रतिष्ठितः आकाशे पृथिवी प्रतिष्ठिता तदेतदन्नमन्ये प्रतिष्ठितं स य एतदन्नमन्ये प्रतिष्ठितं वेद प्रतितिष्ठति अन्नवानन्नादो भवति महान् भवति प्रजया पशुभिर्ब्रह्मवर्चसेन महान् कीर्त्या ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ अथ श्रीकृष्ण यजुर्वेदान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीय आरण्यकान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीय उपनिषद ॐ यस्माज्जातं जगत्सर्वं यस्मिन्नेव प्रलीयते येनेदन्धार्यते चैव तस्मै ज्ञानात्मने नमः। ॐ यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। ॐ तैत्तिरीयकसारस्य मयाचार्यप्रसादतः विस्पष्टार्थरुचीनां हि व्याख्येयं सम्प्रणीयते। अथ प्रथमा शिक्षा वल्ली प्रथमोऽनुवाकः शान्तिमन्त्रः। ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतो तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ अथ षष्ठोऽनुभागः ॐ स य एषोऽन्तरहृदय आकाशः तस्मिन्नयं पुरुषो मनोमयः अमृतो हिरण्मयः अन्तरेण तालुके य एष स्तन इवावलम्बते सेन्द्रयोनिः यत्रासौ केशान्तो विवर्तते व्यवोह्य शीर्षकपाले भूरित्यग्नौ प्रतितिष्ठति उवरिति वायौ सुवरित्यादित्ये मह इति ब्रह्मणि आप्नोति स्वराज्यम् आप्नोति मनसस्पतिं वाक्पतिश्चक्षुष्पतिः श्रोत्रपतिर्विज्ञानपतिः एतत्ततो भवति आकाशशरीरं ब्रह्म सत्यात्मप्राणारामं मन आनन्दं शान्तिसमृद्धममृतम् इति प्राचीनयोग्योपास्व. By God's grace, by Guru's Krupa, by the Krupa of all the Guru Rishi Muni Devata Parampara, this toughest subject of Upanishad with Bhashyam, we are trying to study and understand. And again, by their grace, definitely one day we will succeed in understanding, we will succeed in doing the sadhana and also in reaching the goal. In this Shashtonuvakaha, towards the end, we have seen Etat Tato Bhavati Akashashariram Brahma Satyatma Pranaraman Mana Anandam Shanti Samruddham Amrutam. These are all the phala we accrue when we, detaching from the individual upadhi, are able to evolve to the total upadhi. Atadatmya, the total upadhi is owned by that Mahat Brahma when we get identified with that Mahat Brahma. So, though in the Upanishad it is straight said, but in the practical sadhana, it will always be the ups and downs, it will always be the long journey. But the theory is given. Like from here to Delhi, you have to go. The path shown, the showing of the path is very easy and simple. Go this way, go that way. But when we travel, then we will see en route so many of the obstacles or the problems or the difficulties, obviously. In the same way, the identification is Mahat Brahma gives all these results. But the identification Mahat Brahma, the effort of rising above our own individual upadhi, serving the total upadhi while we are in this deha, if it is not sufficient, then 10 more lives we may need to do that, depending on our clarity of vision, commitment, consistency. At the same time, ready to forego all the comforts of the Anna Pranamaya, Manomaya, that also depends on how lesser are our vasanas. More are our vasanas, we will not be able to detach from our own upadhi and their propitiation. Without doing this, we cannot do the seva of the samashti upadhi while living in this body. Unless that is done, we cannot enter into the sadhana of finding our own Purusha in our own Hridaya Akasha. And after finding the Purusha in the Hridaya Akasha and catching him to be Manomaya, Amrutamaya, Hiranyamaya, Jnanamaya, then only we can pull him out of the, through the Chakra Bhedanam or Yoga Paddhati, away from, out of this Sahasrara, etc. Only then this process is followed, that the first achievement of Bhurityagno Pratitishthati. Then After Bhurityav Pratidishtati, and then going to the next level of serving only Annamaya, let me serve Pranamaya. Then when we serve the Pranamaya of the Samashti for again sufficient period of time, wherever we are put, then we will be given promotion to Bhuvariti Vayu. We will be identifying with the Vayu Tattva. Then comes the Suvariti Aditya. These are all very high level of achievements which we do, which we achieve when we do all these sadhanas by giving the due time and due importance. How many lives it takes, we don't know. So here all that which is talked is about the evolution of the jiva inside. As a jiva, when I come to the sadhana, outside with lot of identities, I involve in so many things also. So, avoiding all those things, attending to Jiva in me, keeping in mind the evolution of the Jiva in me, when I put all these efforts consciously, then, like I'm an individual, I want to be a government employee, I got it by my work, and in that also, I want to grow more and more through my various exams, etc. So, I am evolving there as a government servant. Apart from that, so many other things I am. At home, I am so, am society, I am so and so. So, giving due importance to them, not allowing them to overpower my main goal of wanting to get promoted, I work for it. In the same way, outside whatever is happening, it is prarabdha, it is only runanubandham. It should not be valued much. At the same time, we cannot neglect also. While doing so, inside I am a jiva, I am the purushaha manomayaha, but I have to discover my amrita hiranmaya. With that attention on the jiva's evolution, when we do these things, then slowly the real growth happens, where even with Aditya also we get identified. Maha Swariti Adit Bhuriti Agnau Swariti Vayo then Bhuvariti Vayo Swariti Aditya Pratitishthati. Then comes Mahaiti Brahmane. When thus, through the service of every individuality in this world, loving every individuality in this world, universally, without any differentiation, how many lives we need to do to fully get established so that we are really certified or permitted to identify with the Mahat Brahma, we don't know. But know it, keep on doing it. Have the knowledge, keep on doing. Have the like I understood that I have vasanas which are obstructing me. So keep on doing karma bhakti upasana till the last vasana goes away. So too I have to come out of Deha Tadatma. This is done only when I serve the total stula Deha of the world. Having known this, keep on doing till the Deha Tadatma is transcended actually in the experience that I am one with all the deha or I am not only this deha also. ये भी नहीं हूँ मैं यह सब मैं हूँ ऐसे अनुभूति आने तक ये करते रहना एंड इट इज नॉट इन वन लाइफ इन दिस लाइफ तो वी आर ओनली दिस देहा एंड इसको इतना खुशियाँ देना है वी आर ओनली कंसर्न अबाउट इट we have to understand the ground realities and facts. And from there, having known the path and goal, we have to keep on working on the path and go on doing. So becoming clear and thorough in the theory and doing the practice to the extent possible, keep on doing it, it goes on happening. In short, we are no more in a samsari to fall more and more, but we are a sadhaka to evolve. This is the sadhana and we are doing it. One has to become very thorough in his conviction about the sadhana to be done to reach to the sadhya. Then only involve in that. That also calls for a lot of purity and lot of maturity. Is it not? In the Vyavahara only we don't have sufficient maturity. How is it easy to become spiritual matured person in theory and in understanding about the goal and means. Only then the practical thing starts. So Upanishad Rishi is giving all, but the Shishyas of that time are so matured, therefore, as the Guru teaches, so they practice and they are able to reach. Anybody with that type of qualification can do and can reach out. Okay. Then Mahaiti Brahmani, with the upasana of the Mahachaturthi Vyahruti, he will be identified with the Mahat Brahma. Then we have seen the result. Apnoti Swarajyam Swayam Raja Bhavati. All the devatas do offer the bali to him. Then apnoti manasaspatim, he will be becoming the what do you say, the ruler of his own mind and also the other people's mind and the total mind. So to know the minds of others, to govern the control of the minds of others, to guide, direct the minds of others, they'll have that capacity. Mahati. So Mahat, when we get identified, then he becomes Manasaspati Apnoti. And that is how we see in this world. When we tell something with our mind to someone, even their children who eat away all our money, they don't listen only. But when a great Mahatma says, the entire generation follows what he says. That is, his inside, his mana is so powerful that they are able to influence the mana of the others. Apnoti manasaspatim. Then Vakpati, that's what we said now. The Vani also they conquer their own, and every Vani of all the four levels, they are the masters. It means what? It is unimaginably, incomprehensibly huge position and post. Like a president of India. How many powers are there to a president? How many facilities are given to them when they are in the service? How do we know all of that unless thoroughly we go through it? In the same way, the Mahat Brahma Tadatmya Sadhaka's sthiti is so vast, so great, glorious, unimaginable, inexplicable. So that can be achieved. Instead of keeping that as goal, we are trying to get the impossible of making the Sharira Mana Buddhi Sukha for all the time by attending only to them and living only at that level. This is called as Moha and Vyamoha. Moha, not able to know what is higher. Vyamoha, therefore caught up in the lower. Upanishad thus guides us for the higher possibilities. You can identify with Mahat Brahma, or you can be living a wretched life of identifying with one set of Annamaya, Pranam, Manamaya. Choice is yours. Here we have a lot of limitations, problems. There you can see how glorious are the results. Then Vakpatehi, Chakshushpatehi, he becomes the Lord of the Chakshu. Through every eye he sees. And every eye he can repair. And any eye, if he is doing wrong, he can even withdraw the vision of that person's eye. Chakshushpatehi. Then Shrotrapatehi is the Lord of the audition. There is nothing which is not heard by him of any level of sounds. So, to entire Shravanendriyas of the entire universe are under the control of that Mahat Brahma. We are that Mahat Brahma now. Therefore, all the years come under our control. Shrotrapadehi. Then Chakshupati. Entire vision of the universe becomes my eye or vision. Any eye I can set right, any eye I can make it see and all like that. Then final point was the Vijnanapati. The Vijnanapati means what? He need not struggle, put effort to understand what is what in this world. Every Vijnanam of this world, of every science, is an open book to him. He need not read the book and struggle and all. He is a pati of all the Vijnana in this world. All the knowledge, any of the grantha of this world will be Karatala Amalakam to them. All the Vaidika Jnana is just to open book to him, revealed to him. He will not struggle like us with commentaries, the Bhashyas and all that. Vijnanapati. Every mantra reveals effortlessly its meaning to him. Mantra both of the Brahma Tattva as well as the mantras of the Upasana Kanda and Karma Kanda, everything is known to him, along with all the worldly knowledge of the physics, the chemistry, and all of the Vijnana. Whether he uses it or not, how much he uses, all that depends on the Ishvara Leela. But he become Vijnanapati. This is what is a beautiful high level maturity we get. Anywhere that is what is no, in this job if you come, this much is salary given, these many and the holidays given, and all that is there, then we get tempted to apply for that job. So to any house for sale, see, 3 bedroom duplex, this that they mention, then we get tempted to buy. Here also, the Mahat Brahma, when we get identified with what an amount of great blessings or benefits or results they are shown. The Falashrutis inspire us, and all inspiration is to rise above from the individual struggling at the lower level of Upadhi to identify the total. Of course, this is also not the ultimate goal. Still, there is duality. The ruler ruled duality is there. Still, there is a utilization of the upadhis are there, though they are glorious, infinite, powerful, etc. The Brahma is even beyond all that. Okay. Then we saw this most important topic of etat tato bhavati. Not only that, even this also he gets identified with or gets the special benefits if he is becoming a Mahiti Brahmani. What is that? Akasha Shariram Brahma. So his Sharira becomes as light as Akash, or he becomes the one whose Sharira is Akasha only. The meaning of which is just like Akasha supports all the four elements and not disturbed by any one of them. And the Akasha is so subtle and Akasha is all pervasive. In this way, he will become that Mahat Brahma to whom the entire Akasha is Sharira. So when the Akasha is Sharira, then everything in the Akasha, everything in the Sharira are his Angas only. Therefore, none of them are away from him, apart from him. And he being the Angas only serve the Angi, they are not independent of the Angi, and they don't trouble or overpower the Angi by any means. That is the meaning of Akasha Shariram Vala Brahma. He will be that Mahat Brahma whose Sharira is Akasha Swarupa. So Sarva Atyanta Sukshmaha, Sarva Vyapakaha, and having all the entire world as the Anga only, and are supported with his Akasha Sharira me, and none of them are influencing me. That type of a thing he is. Like in the Shariram, at every nook and corner I am there, because that Mahat Brahma has Akasha as Sharira, his permeability is all the places wherever the Akasha is there. Mahat Brahma. He is aware of all the lokas because all the lokas are in the Akasha and Akasha is his Shariram. Akasha Shariram. Now at that time, what is the vision? Now our vision is I am inside this body as somebody. Is it not? And other bodies are separate other than from me. At that time, what happens? I am the content, I am the one substratum of whom is the Akasha Sharira, and in this Akasha Sharira, all the things, beings are there. They're all for me, I am not for them. That type of very sublime vision comes there. Akasha Shariram Brahma. Okay, then next one was what? Gurudeva Rakshama. Satya Atma. We have seen yesterday what is the Satyatma? Satyam Murta Amurtam Avitatham Sarupam Va Atma Subhava Asya Tat Idam Satyatma. So means what? Mm, Satyatma means Satyat. Yesterday we said manifest and unmanifest both are his own parts. He is both of them simultaneously, manifest and unmanifest, and later on he will be found to be beyond these two. This is the one meaning. Second meaning, Satyatma means what? His Atma, Avitatam Sarupam Va Atma Swabhava Asya Tad Idam Phalam. Means what? Mhm. Satyatma is more relatively real, is the infinite Virat Rupa than the individual Rupas. These are all the Asatya Rupas. And all these Asatya Rupas of individual Upani and individual Upadi Yukta Jiva, one day or the other will have to merge in the total Upadi and total Jiva. So compared to him, he is Satyatma. He is the one long living. He is more true, more real. Samashti always is more true, more real than the Vyashti. Like all the rivers are asatya because they have starting some origin. They are going on running. They dissolve, disappear. But whereas the ocean, to which all the rivers enter, the ocean is infinite. It is there all the time. It never comes and goes. Compared to the rivers, it is more long lasting. Therefore, that ocean is Satyatma. The ocean is more reality than this. So, to all these pseudo individualities are there only when the totality supports. They are not having their own independent ability to stay. Whereas this Virat Rupa Mahat Brahma is all the time he is there. He is eternally is there. Only in the recognition of Parabrahma he is dissolved. That is dissolved in the Anubhuti. But again, when the Parabrahma has to play his Leela, then again this Mahat Brahma, Virat Purusha, is there as expression. And that is why he is called Satyatma. He is more true, more real, more substantial. When he is more true, more real, more substantial, all the powers and joys which are said so far also are real and substantial. Whereas in Jiva case, he is vague and less powerful. All his upadhis are very limited and confined to Kala Ityadi. Therefore, every struggle to him to be sustaining and gaining happiness appear to be vain only. इसलिए you and I as a jiva keep on struggling only throughout. Very less is our happiness and all that. Whereas in that ultimate Brahma, because it is Satyatma, it is eternally blissful. Not the bliss of Parabrahma, but in relatively compared to this Vyashtis, the Samashti is more substantial. That is called as Satyatma. Satyatma means Sattvam, Murta Murtam, Avitatham, Sarupam va Atma Swabhavaha. Asya Tadidam Satyatma. So, both meanings to be known. He is unmanifest as well as manifest, Sat and Tat. That is one meaning. Second is what? He is that eternal Rupa which never goes away, which always remains, which is more true relatively compared to the individual upadhis. Having said so, then prana ramam, we have seen yesterday, praneshu aramaha akida, yasya tat prana ramam or prananam va aramaha yasmin tat pranaramaha. Means what? All the pranis with their prana find their final abode or place of resting in him only, therefore prana arama. Beyond him there is no prana, Shuddha Parabrahma only is there. And all we have the prana, the pranis. Where from prana to all of us came from him only. Therefore, because of him only, all the pranas are there, and he revels through every prana, and all the prana with their prana, all the prani with their prana will end their journey only in identify with him. In that prani, whatever the Atma Tattva is there, that will identify with the Brahma Tattva. So I have the life in me, I have the pure self which is expressing as life in me. The pure self in me will identify with the Mahapara Brahma Tattva. What about my prana? This prana is coming from the Samashti prana or the Hiranyagarbha. Therefore, it finds its arama in him. Three things. Because of the Mahat Brahma, each of us have got prana. And through all our prana, Mahat Brahma only is doing the arama or play or krida or lila. And that is why to whichever jiva, however long he wants to sustain the prana, he will sustain. When he will have to withdraw it, he will withdraw it. He is doing the akrida, aramam, through every prana, the samashti. Therefore, every living being in this world is nothing but substantiated, supported by the Samasti Mahat Brahma Prana. On the other way, if you see other way, he alone is doing the Krida through all these pranas and pranis. And they will find their arama in him. Arama means the final point of resting or abiding is in him. So I, the Jiva, with my life principle, is functional in this world because of the Mahat Brahma. And my final abode is him only. And behind this my Jiva Prana Bhava, there is eternal Satchid Ananda. That is one with the Parabrahma Tattva. So the Parabrahma Tattva is in me, which is called Sachidananda Atma. Then the life, then the activities, the dynamism, all of that is there. These all belong to Mahatma. Then the inner Sachidananda belongs to the Parabrahma. Therefore, all this will find its arama in him only on the path of evolution. And while I am conducting, though I think it is my Jivanam, my Deham, my Prana, my goal and all, ये सब समष्टि का ही है. He is only functioning through us. He has given little freedom, then we think it is my life. किसका कौन लाइफ जी रहा है बताओ इस जगत में? Nobody has total independence. Nobody can have. We are always under the inevitable control of the Samashti Mahat Brahma only. Knowing this, when we understand the scheme of activities that are happening and understand our role given by Him to us and stick to that, then we are given with more and more benefits and all the incentives. At the higher stage, slowly we can get identified with Him only. This is the meaning of Pranaramam. Then we says, mana anandam means ananda bhutam sukhakrut eva yasya manaha tat mana anandam. So at that level, unlike ours minds which have a lot of slaveries to the indriyas, which have a lot of slavery to the deha, which have a lot of craving to the outer world, which is under the total influence of wrong convictions of intellect, which is always under the powerful influence of asana. Therefore, the mind is eternally in a type of dukkha, in a misery, in a dissatisfaction, in a frustration. Except sometime when we forget this mind of ours and become happy when you see some humorous thing, or when you eat some food, good one which you like, or maybe in the sleep. Other than these specific temporary conditionings, always our mana is in a shoka, in a dukkha, always searching for ananda in the things and beings and places. Is it not happening in us right now? Are we in that great happiness, contentment, satisfaction in the mind? We are not talking about Brahma Anandam. In the mana, so many things we lack, so many things we miss, so many things we keep on having asha and expect. And many of them we know that they are not unfulfilled, they are unfulfillable. Still, that continuous murmuring, the muttering, the miserableness, misery in the mind is going on happening, along with so many other things in it. The fears, the excitement, the anxieties, the restlessnesses, the uncertainties put together is our mana, always in a dukkha sthiti. That is why we are always struggling to go somewhere, do something, get something, go to somebody. Jalta hi rehta hai. But in that Virat Purusha, all this khasra is not there. He has no vasanas that way to goad him or guide him or bind him, nor the angas of him called as Adhisthana Devatas or the Indriyas, Veshti or Samashti, are enslaving him, nor he has none of his own personal purposes of desires. When my mind has its own purpose of desire, then it becomes restless till the desire is fulfilled by any of the means. पर उनको अपना स्वयं का कामना नहीं है, ये समष्टि को चलाना उनका काम है. Neither vasanas, nor personal goals, nor slavery to any of the upadhis or the adhisthana devatas. Therefore, all those which cause dukkha to us, none of them are there in him. Therefore, mana anandam. ऑलवेज आवर्स देखो अपना दुख मना. एवरी टाइम ये बंदा मेरी बात नहीं सुनता है, वो मेरे नहीं काम करता है, दिस पर्सन नेवर लाइक्स मी और दस पर्सन नेवर अंडरस्टैंड्स मी. वी आर ऑलवेज इन ए दुख स्थिति. वेरी पेनफुल है जीवन का जीव का जीवन, स्पेशली एट द माइंड लेवल. By somehow, if he engages in upasana or in the pursuit of some higher excellence or knowledge, or at least in sleep, he is comparatively okay. But if that is not the case, in the waking plane from morning till evening, throughout the life, every one of us have a problem of their own way. है ना? किसी को पैसे नहीं है, किसी को नौकरी नहीं मिला, किसी को रिस्पेक्ट नहीं है सोसाइटी में, किसी को नॉन ऑफ द फैमिली मेंबर्स मानते हैं, इनकी शादी नहीं हुआ या बच्चे नहीं हुए, यार चिल्ड्रन आर नॉट सेटल्ड और दे हैव बिकम राक्षसास, और गवर्नमेंट इज नॉट गिविंग लाइसेंस और परमिशन, और वर्कर्स आर नॉट डूइंग. अब गिनती लगाओ तो हमारे मन के दुख के कितने कारण हैं. ये रूटीन इट्स बिकम ए हैबिट टू अस. है ना? Very rarely, very few. Only a Mahat Brahma identified person is in the Ananda sthiti of the Mana. Mana Ananda. Because all the Dukkha Karanas are not at all there. So he must be laughing, giggling, enjoying, and expressing his joy through every of his activities. Mana Ananda. He will not be miserable if some jivas have to be killed or died. Anandam, that also he does with Ananda because he knows that also an inevitable positivity only in the scheme of totality. Therefore, there is no dukkha touching him. And that is why, in the infinitude, there is no dukkha. Only the finitude goes through all the dukkha, the infinite ocean. It is in no dukkha sthiti. That is why Ananda Samudra it is compared with. The finite things, rivers, etc., of dukkha, to come out of that, they enter into the ocean. So the Virat Purusha is being Ananta, therefore his mana is Ananda, not Sukham. Sukham is opposite to Dukkham. Sukha Dukkha balanced state is Anandam. Again, it is not again Brahmanandam. Brahmanandam is the identity of myself to be the Satchit. Here he is still pursuing the Vyashtis in him and considering himself as Samashti and is finding his responsibility, duty towards them. The entire show is on when we are identified with Mahat Brahma. In the Brahma Sthiti, all of that is withdrawn. Only that Satchidananda Anubhuti is there. So we have not yet gone to that. We are only in the Samashti Upadhi level, rising from the individual. That is the entire story here. So Pranaramam Mana Anandam Anandarupam Mana Asya. Okay, Mana Anandam Anandabhutam Sukhakrut Eva Yasya Manaha Tat Mana Anandam. As I told you, in the Vesti individualities, whatever happens, he is not troubled. Is always in Ananda, Mana Anandam. Then Shanti Samruddham and Amrutam. These are the three words. Yesterday we stopped at here. Shanti he means Upashamaha. He is at the absolute Shanti in spite of everything is happening by him in the totality at every individual level. You understand that? Be careful. Try to catch it. What is the Shanti here? Ki Upashamaha. Any of the happenings is not disturbing him. For us, at the individual level, anything we do in Ashanti. Because again of the fears of variety type. Like we have to go from here to one place. I have Ashanti in my mind, where will the vehicle will break down, or it may rain, or traffic jam may not be there, or speed breakers may be there. How many Ashantis we have in our travel from one place to the other. Like that, any number of things we do, there is always Shanti, Ashanti in us. But in him, in the totality of scheme, the purpose is only an entertainment, a leela. There's no prestige issue, there's no ego there, there is no struggle to accomplish something. Therefore, everything is Shanti only there. Try to catch it. Everything is happening, but only Leela Matra, therefore that happening, whether you label it as good or bad, from the limited standpoint, for the totality, that never creates any Ashanti. That's the highest level of, Tesham Shanti Shashwati, na Itaresham, what is said in Gita or Kathopanishad, the same thing here, Shanti. Shanti. Sab mere hai. In that samashti, there's no thing or being other than him or different from him or enemy to him or the cheater to him. Nahi, why? All like in my body. For the body, I may want this and that. If the body is diseased, I have to work to cure it. But then, as regard the bodies, all limbs are concerned. All of them are me. Therefore, I am Shanta with them. That type of Shanti. Whenever abnormality is there, I set right. But with my body, because every one of them are me, every one of them are mine, I'm enjoying through them, they're all working for me. That feeling is Shanti. So to this Brahma, entire universe is visualized like that. Therefore, anything happening in the universe doesn't disturb him because all are him only, happening him in only by his choice. That is the meaning of Shanti Upashamaha. Shanti cha tat samruddham cha. And samruddhi. Shanti itself is the samruddhi in general. थोड़ा याद रख लेना. Lot of samruddhis we have. Samruddhi is prosperity. With all the prosperity, material or friends or positions or powers, Shanti is not there. Can we enjoy the life? On the other hand, even if all the samruddhis are not there, but somehow the art of being at peace is clicked and we are maintaining that peace. We are more happy than the samruddha person. So here for this Hiranyagarbha, Shanti is there, Samruddhi is there. In fact, he is in such a Shanti that it is so Samruddha. He is in the prosperity of peace. At this level, peace and prosperity are not two things. In general Vyavahara, we pray for both. Shanti do Bhagwan, Samruddhi do Bhagwan. Because Shanti is disturbed when the Samruddhi is not there. Is it not? Then Samruddhi will go away when we are Ashanta. Samruddhi has no meaning when we are not having Shanti. So in the outer world, we have to claim both, ask for both. But at the higher level, Shanti ही सबसे बड़ा समृद्धि है. Or so much samruddhi has got that there is no lacking of anything. Therefore, absolute Shanti. Shanti samruddham. You know, these are all the words are experiences given the words. Experiences try to be put in words only. You know, like happiness. It is a word put in, but it is an experience. If somebody asks, "Batao kaisa hota hai?" You can't batao it. A word given, love. You know, it's an experience. You can't put that in any of the other forms. I love you, you can say, or somebody, but inside the joy, in the same way, the joy is the Shanti, the Samruddhi, and all the earlier things, Satyatma, Prana, Rama, Mana, Ananda, they're all the words coined for a beautiful experience. In fact, every jiva in all of us are seeking that only. Alas, we don't know because we never consulted the Guru, the expert, the Shastras. Therefore, we just consider what we think and do is the way to these achievements. Thus, for eternity, for millions of lives, going from one body to the other, we only search for these things in an impossible place called as the outer world through Padis. But when we go to the inner world and identify with the samashti, there all of the experiences are natural and effortless. Shanti samruddham. Like you have a festival or any upasana done, you invited everyone. Everybody came. And the pujari came on time and everything done systematically. After everything is over, you gave dakshina to me, was very happy, went away. Everybody were given sumptuous, wonderful food. Not even one person's words or the eyes, there is dissatisfaction. सब खुश हो गए. Then आपका बहुत बड़ा, they have done an appreciation. We have never attended, so it's a great thing. If this happens by chance, which should happen regularly, how do you feel the happiness? Is it not? ऐसे आपके बेटी का शादी आपने ऐसा किया. You know, the wonderful, the samdhi is great, and that son-in-law is wonderful, qualified, educated, matured, and everyone attended the function, program, marriage, and it went on without any little iota of disturbance. How fulfillment do you have? Can you put it in words? At that time, you feel that you have conquered the entire world. The entire world of every problems, दुखा is under our feet. ऐसा लगता है उस समय कि मैं सब जीत चुका हूं, मैं सम्राट राजा. Is it not? If you can feel that happiness, and that is explained for an individual in one occasion, imagine how would be the ananda of this Mahat Brahma, where everything is under his command and control and everything is systematically is going on. He is in that Shanti Samruddha. And this person who got his son married is Shanta Samruddha when the program went on. But this fellow, after 1 month, when he goes to his Ghar Jamai, then he starts becoming miserable. There is always chance of Ashanti, again Asamruddhi in the world. Some people also hospitalized for 1 week, 1 month. They come out with all physiotherapy, they get well, they feel कि they have got second life conquered. ऐसा करके जॉगिंग के लिए चलते हैं, फटाक फिर से गिर जाते हैं, अगेन हॉस्पिटलाइज. देयर शांति समृद्धि is not permanent, but here it is shanti samriddhi is permanent, therefore amrutam, never dying peace, never ending peace, never dying and ending prosperity is his. And always the Shanti and Sukha go together. See, Mana Anandam is already said, but even the Ananda Man se bhi aage wala Shanti and that Samruddhi of him, of that Mahat Brahma. Shanti Upashamaha. Shanti cha tat Samruddham cha Shanti Samruddham. Shantyava Samruddham tat Upalabhyate. Iti Shanti Samruddham. Mm, mm, mm. So, or that state of being one with Virat Purusha is endowed with a plenitude of Shanti. Shanti Rupi Samruddhi. This is another explanation of that word. What he says is Shanti Heta cha tat Samruddham cha Shanti Samruddham. It is already said. Peace as well as plenitude, prosperity. Shantyava Samruddham tad upalabhyate iti means what? At that stage, the Samruddha Shanti will be there. Samruddha Shanti. Ruddham is prosperity. Samruddham is complete prosperity. And what is the complete prosperity is there? Shanti. Remember, ultimate Sukha is only in the ultimate Shanti. Ashantasya kuta Sukham. Shanti Samruddham is that state. And at the level of Jiva with little bit of Upadhis, always with little Samruddhi also, there is only Ashanti, which we have already seen some 10 minutes back. So Shanti Samruddham is the meaning said like that. Shantyava Samruddham tadupalabhyate iti Shanti Samruddham. Means at that state of being one with Hiranyagarbha, the plenitude is experienced in the form of plenty Shanti. And that Shanti is what? Amrutam means Amarana Dharmaha. That Shanti and Shanti Rupi Samruddhi and all the other things, Satyatma, Pranarama, Mana, Anandam, and even before that, everybody will give the Bali, Tasmai Deva Balima Vahanti, all of that. And then Manasaspati, Vakpati, Chakshushpati, Shrotrapati, Vijnanapati, all the big list of things are given. Na? All of them are Amarana Dharmaha, Amrutam. See, Etacha Adhikatara Visheshanam, Tatra Eva, Etacha Adhikatara Visheshanam. This is what is the highest thing achieved. Okay. Mm-hmm. So एतच्च अधिकतरविशेषणं तत्र एव मनोमयः इत्यादौ द्रष्टव्यम् इति. एवं मनोमयत्वादिधर्मैः विशिष्टं यथोक्तं ब्रह्म हे प्राचीनयोग्य उपास्व इति आचार्यवचनोक्तिः आदरार्थः उक्तः एव उपासना शब्दार्थः. So all these exhaustive details regarding the great sthiti achieved are all to the Purusha. Which Purusha? Manomaya Purusha, who was in the Hridaya Akasha at the individual level, identified with one Upadhi. When he is identifying the total Upadhi, these are all the benefits that accrue to him, is said. This special thing is mentioned here by Bhagavan Shankara to say that even this is not the ultimate stage of Aham Brahmasmi Sthiti. This is again Samashti Upadi Tadatmya Mahat Brahma Virat Purusha Hiranyagarbha उनका ये उपलब्धियां हैं. It is an intermediate stage that is achievable by every you and me. Therefore, let us, instead of struggling to fulfill our dream desire through the individual upadhi, let us reach through our variety of upasanas and qualifications to that highest. And all these Vyahriti upasanas, in fact, all the upasanas said so far in the last 6 anuvakas, makes us qualified to become one with that Manomaya Purusha at the totality level. And to him are all these results. So great it is. So therefore, you have two options. Either to become one with Parabrahma and experience. Okay? Parabrahma Sachidananda. Other option is what? In the world, you can be happy with the upadhis. These are the two options. And even in the second option of being happy in the world, there are again two options. One option is what? Identifying with only one set of upadhi and struggling all limitations, or identifying with the total upadhi and reveling in that joy. So here at this position, what is our Mahachamasya Rishi is telling to the disciple, बेटा अगर उपाधियों से ही खुशियां पानी है, क्यों न टोटलिटी से. He is increasing the possibility, he is giving the higher option, higher possibility. Why struggle only with these upadhis, the wretched ones, which are never in our control, and you are doing unnecessarily the upasana of this fellow who is definitely going to cheat you one day. Why not you do upasana of that process by which you get identified with the total upadhi and you become Mahat Brahma. So as a jiva, instead of struggling with one upadhi, you become one with Mahat Brahma and enjoy the total. Try that one. If not, the Aham Brahmasmi. If you can search out and seek and reach out to Aham Brahma Sthiti, that is much greater than this Mahat Brahma. This Mahat Brahma is still in the upadhi only. Okay? In the upadhi level, the feeling of responsibility, all of them are there. But in the Parabrahma Anubhuti, Aham Sachidananda Brahma, that Sat is eternal, Chit is consciousness, Anand is bliss, I am in that. There's no greater thing higher than that. So what he concludingly says is what? He manomaya iti adau drashtavyam iti. So एतच्च अधिकतरविशेषणं तत्र तत्र एव मनोमयः इत्यादौ द्रष्टव्यम् इति. Don't say all these qualities belong to Parabrahma. They are only मनोमय विशिष्ट, total मनोमय विशिष्ट महद ब्रह्म का है. एवं in this way मनोमयत्वादि धर्मैः विशिष्टं यथोक्तं ब्रह्म. So that Brahma who is Manomayadi Vishishta at the samashti level, He Prachina Yogya, oh dear disciple Prachina Yogya, Upasva, you do the upasana of that. You aim at that one. I am sure by now at least this much minimum understanding should have dawned in us. Ki we have both options of identifying with individualized upadhis, we have also option of identifying with the total. So it's a difference between a dreamer and the waker. In the dreamer, for the dreamer in the dream world, there are so many individuals there. Among them, with one individual upadhi, he will get identified. Then, with that, he tries to get happiness, and for that happiness, he is relating to each other in one way or the other, struggling, working, propitiating, pleasing them. So here, there he is only a one upadhi tadatma jiva. Now, when he wakes up into the waking world, don't you see this total difference? That every individual, along with the dreamer, in the dream, whoever were there, all of them are me, the waking mind. At this level of waking, in the dream, whoever was chasing me or troubling me, I know all of them, a lion must be chasing or troubling, a person who gave the loan, he must be troubling. अब जागृत अवस्था में आके देखोगे यहाँ से, all of them are me only. So there, all the sukha, dukkha, papa, punya, everything becomes neutral, balanced. Then we are in a different state of peace, which is not there for the dreamer in the dream world. And the dreamer had both opportunities of continuing in the dream world with his limited upadhi or transcending those limited upadhis, therefore coming out of that dream, getting identified with the veka to feel the vast jagrat, more substantial. Example, be careful. So we are now in the dream, try to feel it, of identifying with this upadhi and struggling to become happy in the created world created by me, the individual jiva. Like that jiva wakes up to the waker, so too when we wake up to the samashti upadhi tadatmya, like everything is balanced when you wake up from the dream, so too everything is be balanced and experienced that way. All those experiences are said from in this earlier Anuvaka in the last few mantras, which we are seeing yesterday and today. आपनोति स्वाराब्जम मनसस्पति वाक्पति चक्षुष्पति. Like, for that in the dream, whoever have spoken whatever, to all the speech is not the waker the pati. In the dream, whatever the people had their own mind thoughts. Is not the waker the pati of all of them? Imagine. Chokshushpati, Shrotrapati, Vijnanapati. In the dream, you might have had a scientific laboratory and 10 scientists, each one doing their own research, and they brought the things together, assembled, and they created something. Let's say, वहाँ एक एक का अकल अलग अलग था. Is it not? But when in from the waking stand, but when you wake up, सबके विज्ञान इस एक वेकर के मन का है कि नहीं? It is his vijnana only. Somebody may be a poet, written a poem in the dream. अलग अलग लोग हैं. Everything is Veka. In the same way, when with the Samashti we are, that is the experience. What is the point we are discussing last 2 minutes is, by now, this much shaking should happen in us, that there is a possibility for me individual, who is right now fully considering that this Panchakosha alone is me. To him, there is a possibility that he can detach his identity from one to the total. That possibility you should feel. If that is done, then our study of this Anuvaka from last 2 3 days is fulfilled. Like a person cocooned in his own house and sleeping, eating only there. But why is it so? When he is taken for a vana bhojanam or for a picnic, he will see a vast world outside. और वहाँ कोई टेंट में भी सोएंगे, वहाँ कहीं ढाबे में भी खाएंगे. So earlier he thought that only in the comfort of the house he can sleep. But when he goes out and visualizes, the entire world is his only. Anywhere. है ना, जिंदगी भर बाथरूम में नलके के नीचे नहाने वाले. Suddenly you take him to a river and give him a bath there. The vastness of having a bath in river is so joyful, but he never thought of it. है ना, having only friendship with 4 5 log, and but when he is made as a member or given a big vast ambience or place where he can interact with so many people, he'll know that अरे ये भी हो सकता है क्या. Such a that the thickest tamoguna and the thickest moha which we all have, because of which we are suffering, is कि me can be possible only in this. It's not so. We are entering into the dreams, we are entering the sleepa, which are other than this Annamaya Kosha or this Stula Deha. That possibility is what is mentioned here. If we can recognize the possibility of ourselves, identifying not with individual only, but the total. In between individual and total is the people around, the relations around, the nation. इन सबको भी हम तादात्म्य करते हुए उनके लिए काम करने से इस रिचर्ड एक ही उपाधि से काम करना है, इसी में सुख पाना है. From this moha we come out. That is the insistence or the command or guidance or the advice or the blessings the Mahachamasya Rishi is giving to his disciple. हे प्राचीन योग्या, ऐसा जीवन का आप प्रयत्न करो. That prayatna for this type of life is called upasana. हे प्राचीन योग्य upasva. Listen carefully. In another language, if you put, it is like this. It's no doubt that these panchakoshas are your only. There's no doubt. We are not denying. But the point is what? You are these. Not only these panchakoshas are yours or you. The entire panchakosha is you, my friend. Entire is yours, and you have always the freedom to rise above the identification with this and identify with the total. When you identify only with one, there's always struggle of fear, sense of fear. All these non-positive qualities are there, and there's always competition with other individualities, fear with the totality. Hey, why do you do that? You yourself can become that. एनी नंबर ऑफ एग्जाम्पल है. एज ए क्लर्क हमेशा ऊपर इतने लेवल ऑफ बॉसेस होते हैं, सबके लिए डरना पड़ता है. The UDC will scold him, the section officer will scold him, the departmental head will scold him. The total अब you yourself मेहनत करके ऑफिसर बन. Burning it, then is there anybody who can travel? And that possibility always is there. स्वामी जी, हाउ कैन आई डू? आई एम अनपढ़, तो मैं इस जन्म में क्लर्क ही हूँ। इस जन्म में हो, अगले जन्म में हो सकते हो ना। In the same way, Swami, now I'm identified this individual upadhi. Keep on working life after the other. One day you'll become one with Mahat Brahma. Aim at the highest. That is the only way we can conquer the lower. If you don't aim at the higher, then you live only at the lower level. Lower level has nothing but the bondage and dukkha to offer to us. याद रख लेना इसको. And all the non-positive things of raga, dvesha, kama, krodha, all of them are possible only at the vyashti level. Identify the one upadhis, in the insecurity of this, to maintain this, to propitiate this only, all these vishayas come, kamadi, and then when they are not fulfilled, the negative things of krodha, dvesha come. The entire struggle only dehosmi se hota hai. Only this deha ahamasmi. If one can consciously rise above this, it requires first intellectual conviction, then intellectual understanding, then the conviction, then slowly working out, one can do that. In those days of the Veda Mantra Kala, unlike today, so many problems, obligations, so many of the kachara in the mind is not there. They are so free in the mind relatively. Therefore, when the Guru advises, Beta, iska upasana karo tum, and reach to the Mahat Brahma, obstacles are not much to them. Therefore, they used to rise above individual, identify with the total. So, the last line is says, Evam manomayatwadi dharmaihi vishishtam yathoktam Brahma. That Brahma, which is Manomaya Vishishta, not Para Brahma, but at the same time has got such a great qualities that Mahat Brahma, He Prachina Yogya, oh my dear disciple Prachina Yogya, Upasva, you do the Upasana to reach to that identity. Don't get caught up only at the one Upadhi level and looking at the other Upadhi and feeling attracted or feeling repelled and competing and struggling and fighting. समष्टि लेवल में जाओ तो all are mine. When all are mine, something is mine, something is not mine, से उत्पन्न होने वाले all those problems will never be there. Is it not? Prachina Yogya is the name of the disciple. And in that name also there is a meaning. Prachina means from the long time, Yogya, the one who become qualified. From such a long time you are the disciple, you are listening from me, all that. So you are a Prachina Yogya. And another meaning is what? Prachina is Sabse Bada. That is Hiranya Garbhasthiti only. Yogya means what? You are qualified. So potentially everybody is qualified. Now presently you are listening to me right from beginning, all the Anuvakas. Therefore, potentially though everybody is Yogya for that Prachina Sthiti of Hiranyagarbha, with your special effort and qualification, you are specially deserving or qualified for that. Why don't you try for it? प्राचीन काल से मेहनत करते हुए स्थिति आ गए, तुम उपनिषद पढ़ने तक आ गए, तो यू आर योग्य. Why don't you use that yogyata and do the upasana to become one with that Mahat Brahma? That is the meaning. एंड हमेशा हम सब ये अर्वाचीन देहादि के ही लेवल में रहने का जरूरत नहीं है. वी कैन ऑलवेज आइडेंटिफाई विद द प्राचीन महद ब्रह्म. वी आर ऑल योग्य फॉर इट. सो प्राचीन योग्य में बी ए लिटरल नेम ऑफ दैट चाइल्ड और दैट नेम हैज वर्ड्स, दोज वर्ड्स हैव दिस मीनिंग. So the Prachina Yoga also means what? To come to this level, at least of intellectual understanding also. From Prachina Kala means many, many lives, you have to become Yogya qualified. And having qualified to understand this, to reach that also, again you have to spend some more lives. So you and I are Prachina Yogya, because if we are given the chance to study the Upanishad, which is talking Brahma Vidya and Mahat Brahma Sadhana, from how many lives, little by little, we might have added the sadhana to us. Otherwise, out of 750 crore, how many people in the morning listen to Brahma Vidya Vedanta? They're all either busy in sleeping, busy in eating, busy in running into the world, busy in variety of other things. अलग अलग जो सब बिजी है. So we are prachina yogya, and feeling that we were struggling from so many lives in our evolution, accepting that as a fact, from here onwards also, instead of stopping or going back, we should go ahead only. In going ahead, only two more steps. One is identify the Mahat Brahma, then transcend even that and be one with the Aham Brahmasmi Anubhuti. Discover your Aham Brahmasthiti. Anything other than these two are a self chosen life of misery and limitations. देखो हम होना है तो सबसे तादाद में होना है, नहीं तो परब्रह्म से एक होना है. ऐसा नहीं होगे तो एट द लोअर लेवल ऑफ आइडेंटिफाइंग विद एनी उपाधि you will only suffer. Now, all these facilities which are given to Mahat Brahma are not there even to Indra, Agni, Vayu, Aditya. Remember, ये भी उनके सामने बच्चे लोग. They are all only Anga and they have to do the Upasana of this Angi Mahat Brahma. अग्नौ प्रतिष्ठति, वायो प्रतिष्ठति, आदित्य प्रतिष्ठति, ये भी महत ब्रह्मण्य प्रतिष्ठति से छोटे ही हैं. Aim at that. Aim at that. Like in the material world of ours today, we aim at in everything is higher. Post wise higher, money wise higher, business was higher. Respect and reverence, I should be the VIP. Everybody in the heart has that longing. Now here, when you have that longing naturally, you are not aware of the possibility of higher. So I am telling you the possibility both of Parabrahma and Mahat Brahma. If you right now are not convinced of the Parabrahma, at least be convinced of the Mahat Brahma and reach out that. रुको मत वहां पहुंचने तक. Or any other goal, don't take it as ultimate because it is not. You may reach it, but it is not ultimate. Like at body level, I may reach to every comfort of no human being can achieve, let us say. Yet, it is not ultimate because body is perishable. Is it not? Money wise, I might have become richer than the richest. But what do you do with that money except claiming? Always fear that और किसी को लेना देना पड़ेगा या मेरे से और कोई overtake करेगा. And all the money, whatever the things it can procure, you can't enjoy also. So these are all these pseudo achievements. But achieving as Mahat Brahma is the greatest, true, real. That is why these words. Akasha Shariram, Pranaramam, Mana Anandam, Shanti, Samruddham, Amrutam. Now, these are the words to be repeatedly contemplated. Then what is the Rishi there, Mahachavasya, indicating about the glory of this sthiti we'll feel. When we feel that, we understand that is the highest. Aim at that. Try for that. In that Mahat Brahma Sthiti, how many dehas are projected, to how many dehas the Janma Marana has happened, into that how many Roga Ityadi came and gone. Do you think it will affect him? Shanti Samruddham mein ho. But at our level, every day this body is going through that misery. एक दिन ज़्यादा हजम होता है, एक दिन नहीं होता है. एक दिन एक्सट्रीम लेजी होता है, एक दिन हाइपर एक्टिव होता है. एक दिन कमर में दर्द, एक दिन घुटने में दर्द, एक दिन सर में दर्द. See the painfulness of us as with the body. And who is going through all this dukkha? Remember, not the body. Then who? The Manomaya Purusha who identifies the Annamaya. The one, this Manomaya Purusha, through these upasanas and ejecting out of the Vijnana, this cranium, can identify with the total Manomaya or Vijnanamaya called as Hiranmaya. That Mahat Brahma se he can identify. ये पॉसिबिलिटी को छोड़कर ये पकड़ कर रोना. Like in house also we can see so many wonderful utensils are there of very high cost and all. एक छोटा चम्मच गुम हो गया या पतीला टूट गया, you cry for that. Don't we do at home every day? कपड़ा फट गया. In the almirah you have 20, 200, 2000 dresses are there. You are the owner of all of them, but identify with one cloth, ये फट गया करके we रोते. That is a kafi. That is the meaning of becoming a jiva identified with one upadhi. You have 10 kurchis at home. एक टूट गया तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है? But don't we suffer? We have 100 friends. One fellow made miserable you. So what? Your other 99 fellows, but still we feel miserable. This feeling of identity with very small upadhis and suffering is called as jiva. What here this great guru is telling is, why do you do that when the entire world is yours? Is it not? दो लोगों को दोस्त पकड़कर इतना स्ट्रगल होते हैं to convince those stupid fellows, and they don't get convinced. They are arrogant. They don't have the ability to reciprocate to you. Go out in the world and search for one year. You will get thousands times better friends than these wretched fellows. Enjoy. ये possibility हम कबूल नहीं करते. That is called the limitation. This is the only way by which we can kick the limited ones and rise above to the unlimited and become unlimitedly happy. Just like here, we are unlimitedly miserable. When you hold on to only one upadhi and one some stupid fellows of the world, unlimitedly they make you miserable. वो खुश नहीं करते हैं हमको, ना हम उनको छोड़कर और कहीं जा पाते हैं. See the misery there? It is not necessary that we should be bound for anything in this world. We are Mahat Brahma, Baba. और आगे बताओ तो वे आर परब्रह्म ओनली. See, don't get confused when we say all this. As regards as a jiva, we are given this deha. While living in this deha as this jiva, whatever the responsibilities, duties we have to do, that we have to do. Up to this, when we do, there is no samsara. Beyond that, through this, in this only, when you try to seek happiness, and that also continuously, constantly, and when that is never going to come and therefore become miserable, to avoid that, this is said. Like I am with you in the class giving the satsang. When it is said like that, it doesn't mean that I leave you and go somewhere. As regard the speaker and acharya, this duty I perform. More than that, if I seek happiness through any of them, performance should alone be happiness. Doing this duty alone is a happiness to me. I should be in that stage. Any other happiness I seek out, it will be always frustrating. It will never be fulfilled. If at all that way you seek happiness, what he says is, don't try to be happy by a person as a Swami, as speaker, through limited things. Identify with Mahat Brahma. Any other limited achievements of yours will give you misery only at that level. Seek the highest. That is the point. हे प्राचीन योग्य उपासव इति आचार्य वचनोक्ति ही. Why the acharya specifically said adarartha means the respect, reverence given to that great Mahat Brahma position which can be achieved by anyone. And he also has an adara toward this disciple who was serving him from such a long time. Oh, my dear child, enough of you serving me. I'm so happy with you now. You are qualified for this Prachina Yogya. I gave you this technique. You follow it and reach it. Become one with Mahat Brahma and Apno this Swarajya, Manasaspati, Vakpati, and all that. And you are qualified for that because last 10 years you are with me. You are serving me with all your faculties, without any ego, without any selfishness, without any prestige worry, without any of the arrogances, without any ifs and buts. What a beautiful character you are now. You are a Prachina Yogya. Therefore, I gave you this Hridaya Akasha Upasana, Hridaya Akasha Sthita, Jiva Upasana. From that, each of the Chakra Bhedana Upasana, and thereafter, Agni, Avayu, Aditya, identifying Sthiti, finally Mahat Brahma Sthiti. I told you, Hey Prachina Yogya, you are worthy of it, you deserve it, Upasva. Here is my blessing to you. Here is my sankalpa to you. Here is my guidance to you. Here is my freedom given to you. You go and travel. That is the adara the Guru has for the disciple and for the position. And allowing the disciple to grow. Like Lord Rama. Hey Bharat, your both children are now very elderly, matured, qualified. भेजो उनको जाकर वहां राजा बना दो. And Bharat went and made them kings. Hey Lakshman, your children also. They are not young now, they are qualified. Unko wahan raja bana do. See that beauty of Lord Rama's large heartedness? And in today and tomorrow we will see लवा कुश को भी बिठा देते हैं राज्य में, दो राज्य बनाकर बिठाते हैं, and all Ayodhyavasins with Rama they go into the Urdhvalok. Some of them are sent to both kingdoms to take care of this Kusha and Lava. These 2 days, 3 days, we are going to see that topic. Sri Rama Bhagwan going to his Vaikuntha Loka. He will take us also if we join. So the large-heartedness I am saying there, our Lord Rama, of Krishna. In the same way, yeah, the Guru says here, Mahachamasya, yeah, you are not bound here. You are always ready. This is possible only in spirituality. In the worldliness, no boss can allow the subordinate to sit on his head. उसको दबा के चबा के रख देते हैं. But in spirituality, it is possible. Everyone can become identified with महत ब्रह्म. ऐसा नहीं कि मैं महत ब्रह्म बन गया, तू नहीं बन सकता. ऐसा नहीं होता. You understood? It is not related to like I became prime minister of one country. Other fellow cannot become here. एक देश का एक ही होता है. बट वो स्थिति ऐसी नहीं, बिकॉज इट्स नॉट स्थूल अचीवमेंट ना, इट इज सूक्ष्म अचीवमेंट. लाइक दिस इज अ रिवर, दैट रिवर, दिस रिवर कैनॉट बी सेम, बट ऑल रिवर्स कैन मर्ज इन ओशन एंड बिकम वन. नो, सारे नदियां ओशन में मिल सकती. सो टू ऑल इंडिविजुअलिटीज कैन आइडेंटिफाई विद द टोटल. देयर इज नो स्ट्रगल इन द टोटलिटी, बिकॉज टोटल में सब मर्ज होते हैं, वहां फिर डिफरेंसेस नहीं होते लड़ने के लिए. There are no two things in total to fight with each other. Thus, every individual can become total without any problems which are there in the individual level. Therefore, that Rishi says, Hey Prachina Yogya. And at the Brahma level also, everyone is potentially Parabrahma Tattva only. तो परब्रह्म अनुभूति, समष्टि महत ब्रह्म अनुभूति सब पा सकते हैं. एक को मिला दूसरे को नहीं मिला, नहीं हो सकता. इंद्र, वायु, वरुण, अगेन देयर कैन बी कॉम्पिटिशन. You understand? Not at the Mahat Brahma level. What is Indra Vayu competition? Indra is not Vayu, Vayu is not Varuna. Varuna Vayu have to listen to Indra. If they don't listen, Indra becomes angry. And Varuna Vayu also say, this fellow is sitting on our head. That differences are there. At the total level, no difference. So keep all these thoughts in mind, and remember, in this path of evolution through these classes, little and little possibilities, knowledges, informations are revealed to us. And never imagine that all that is all. There's much, much more to listen, much, much more to analyze, much, much more to contemplate, much, much more to understand. After understanding, then the sadhanas are there various. Keep on doing them and reach. Keep the goal. Just like I am able to identify with one set of upadhi, I can also identify with the total upadhi. And with samal upadhi, if this much is sukha, how much sukha will be there is total upadhi. And then the only the beautiful difference is what? In the limited upadhi there is dukkha possible. In the infinite there is no dukkha. Let me aim at that. In that way, let us inspire ourselves. Let us feel that we are the Prachina Yogya, and let us feel that the Mahachamas Rishi is telling us only, Hey Prachina Yogya Upasva iti. And what is Upasana? Already said, Uktaeva Upasana Shabdarthaha. And that little bit, and then the introduction to Saptama Anuvaka, padte hue, doing the next beautiful Anuvaka, in which another Upasana is said of the Panktham we will study. Then comes the Pranava Upasana. Then the balancing of spiritual sadhana as well as our daily routine of dharma. That will be exhaustively said. I may need 20 classes for that, or I may do it in 2 classes. I don't know, depending on my mood and your mood. But the content is very exhaustive. Let us see that. After that is done, then to become more and more exclusively spiritual, one mantra japa is given. One mantra is given for regular japa. That may be at the 10th or 11th Anuvaka. Aham Rukshasaririva Kirti Prushtam Giririva Urtva Pavitro Vajiniva Swamrtamasmi Dravinagam Savarchasam Sumeda Amurtokshitaha Iti Trishankor Vedanu Vachanam. And then comes the convocation mantras. The education is given to the students. Now they are sent out. While sending, like yesterday, the president, his concluding speech he gave. The address. Everybody spoke for him. And the way he spoke yesterday, every word was so complete. Whether it is his own or somebody has written, जो भी है, कितना बढ़िया है. though it was only 16 and a half or 17 minutes, all the to be considered aspects were considered and spoken, and the conflicting, contradictory things were avoided there. You know how he appreciated the cabinet, appreciated the prime minister, and first his appreciation was to the whole parliament and to the vice president, especially because next to him both the parliament का speaker lok sabha का है, whatever om namah shivaya om birla, and there, and the best thing in the yesterday president's concluding speech mein was what a beautifully he said, and it was so touching heart. You are all selected and sent to parliament by the people, and you are all their representatives. Thus, we are always, he did not speak so spiritually because the place is different there. In this wretched secular country, we can't talk spiritually. Although he used some words, but by the grace of the Lord and all that. But he delicately said, we are the representatives of Raja. We are given all these power position by them. Therefore, we are questionable by them and we are answerable to them. Therefore, we must fulfill our mission of serving them by newer and newer, greater and greater plans, goals, and schemes. What a beautiful presidential talk yesterday it was. It was really exemplary, short and sweet and complete. I तो like it, Baba. बहुत मजा आया. It was great. Now, why all this I said? He is concluding today's presidential post. He gave the last words. So, to in this end of this first Valli, in that last Anuvaka, Vedamanu Chacharyonte Vasinamanu Shasti, in that only the loving guidance while sending the disciples out, the Guru gives Satyam Vada, Dharmam Chara, Swadhyayat Maparmada, Acharyaya Prema Dharmamrutya प्रजातंतुमा व्यवच्छेत्सि सत्यान प्रवृत्तम कुर्जान धर्मान भूते तो then matur deva bhava pitrudeva acharya deva bhava, a 25 or so beautiful words of guidance he gives to the disciple, because you only studied theory in the college or class or in my ashrama. Beta, the life is much bigger, to test you also, to question you also, to challenge you also, and when you go through all of them, to offer to you. Therefore, be careful at every moment. Every moment there is a curse from something, there is a blessing for something. Avoiding the curse, have the ability to invoke the blessings. Every moment, the chance of a temptation to fall down, there is a chance of opportunity to rise above. What to seek, what to choose, what to give up. Have that maturity. Oh, my child. Now, this is how these convocational addresses are very big, very huge, very hard, very beautiful. Like in a college school also, during that convocation, the heads of the institute chancellors, how wonderfully they thank them. बेटा 4 साल हम आपने यहाँ पढ़ा, पढ़ाने का हमको मौका दिया. Now the whole world is open to you. Make or mar yourself and the world. But I suggest you only to make. These are the ways to live life: the internal, external. Convocation. But only in this Upanishad, all this variety of inspirations are given. Upasanas are given, lifestyle is given, balancing techniques are given, and later on, when you enter into second Valli, the Brahma Vidya in its exhaustive way of analyzing the Panchakoshas is given. That's why love this Upanishad. Study slowly, slowly. जितना हमको कैच कर सकते हैं हम उतना करते हुए, again with the कृपा of all the rishis which are mentioned in the Taittiriya, and also with the Agnevalka, Vaishampayana, Vedavyasa, and Adi Shankara, and Gurudev's Krupa, may we become more qualified to deeply understand and more convinced to deeply do the sadhana to reach to the achieved expected goals. Having saying so, today we'll conclude. Tomorrow we start with the Sambandha Bhashya for the Saptama Anuvaka, and it is very, very small. We can do it in one day, and then we go to the Ashtama Anuvaka, which also is very, very beautiful, in which the Pranava Upasana is taught. Meanwhile, just go through what is taught so far in earlier 6 Anuvakas as a homework and feel that something entered the head. Everything won't come. एवरीथिंग सब मैं बोल रहा हूँ आपको, मुझे पूरा दिमाग में नहीं बैठा. आई नो आई नीड 10 रीडिंग्स. दिस इज द फर्स्ट स्टडी फॉर बोथ यू एंड मी. Therefore, repeatedly when we do, more deeper understandings and convictions come. Maybe all that way, pursue only spiritual path, never worry about anything else. Especially if you are well off, if every children are all settled down, don't create new problems. Make this an opportunity, pursue spirituality and grow in that. At least that much common sense maturity we expect. Many people don't have. They still throughout life struggle only in the external world which has no end. You and I should put an end to them when there is a possibility and take up this sadhana. Thank you. Om, 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 Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Paramarshibhyo Namaha Parabrahmane Namaha Shrutimatre Namaha Vedavyasa Vaishampayane Agnivalkyadya Shankaradi Gurubhyo Namaha Asmat Gurubhyo Namam Tatsat Brahma Arpanamastu. Thank you all. 10 minutes, we'll study our Vidurani.